Let me tell you something that is going to bother you for the rest of the day. There are people alive right now, eating breakfast, checking their phone, living their ordinary life, who own a car worth more than your entire neighborhood, not more than your house, more than every house on your street combined. And the wildest part? Most of these cars never even leave the garage. They sit in climate-controlled rooms, untouched, just existing. Today we are counting down the 10 most expensive cars on the planet. Machines so rare that most people who see one in person cannot believe it is real. I need you to stay until number 1, because when you see what it costs and how many exist, it is going to completely change how you think about money. Let's go. Number 10. Lamborghini Aventador SVJ Carbonado. Most people know the Aventador, but the SVJ Carbonado is something else entirely. This is not a car. This is Lamborghini asking the question, what happens if we remove everything that is not absolutely necessary and replace it with carbon fiber? The answer is a naturally aspirated V12 that hits 60 miles per hour in under 3 seconds with no turbos. No tricks. Pure mechanical aggression. The carbon fiber is not decorative. Every single curve, every vent, every surface was designed in a wind tunnel to slice through air at speeds most cars cannot reach in a straight line. Only a handful exist globally. Some collectors report going years without seeing one outside of a private event. Price, $600,000 plus customizations. But here is what that number does not tell you. Most of these cars spend more time being looked at than driven, because some things are too rare to risk. Drop a comment right now. Would you drive it every day or keep it locked away? Because the answer tells you everything about how you think about money. Number 9, Bugatti Mistral. Just saying the name makes people pause. The Mistral is Bugatti's final send-off to the W16 engine, the last car that will ever carry the most powerful production engine configuration ever built. When it is gone forever. Under that sculpted hood sits an 8.0-liter quad-turbo W16 producing 1,600 horsepower. Not 1,000, not 1,200, 1,600. And it is open top, which means when you push that accelerator, you feel every single one of those horses trying to rip the atmosphere apart around you. Starting price, approximately $5 million. And Bugatti made only a handful, each one assigned to collectors who have spent years proving their loyalty to the brand. You do not buy a Mistral, you are selected for one. Think about that for a second. There are people on this planet for whom the question is not whether they can afford it, but whether Bugatti will agree to sell it to them. Number 8, Bugatti Chiron Supersport 300 Plus. In 2019, a modified version of this car did something no production car had ever done. It crossed 300 miles per hour. 300. That is not a speed. That is a number that barely makes sense when you apply it to a vehicle on a road. The 8.0-liter quad-turbo W16 produces 1,578 horsepower. The aerodynamics were redesigned from scratch specifically to keep the car stable at velocities that would flip anything else at the speed of thought. Only a few hundred exist, each one numbered. Each owner personally vetted by Bugatti before the sale is approved. The price sits around $3.9 million. But the real cost is not financial. It is the fact that most of these cars will never come close to what they were built to do. Because there is almost nowhere on earth legal enough and long enough to let this machine breathe. Number 7, Lamborghini Veneno Roadster. 9. That is the total number of Veneno Roadsters that exist on earth. 9. Lamborghini built it to celebrate their 50th anniversary and decided the best way to mark half a century of insanity was to build something that looks like it was designed by a military aerospace team. The 6.5-liter naturally aspirated V12 produces 750 horsepower and hits 60 in 2.9 seconds. But the numbers are almost irrelevant when you see it in person. Every angle is sharp. Every line has a purpose. Every vent is functional. It looks aggressive, standing still in a way that most supercars cannot achieve at full speed. Price, $4.5 million at launch. Current value on the rare occasions one appears at auction, significantly more. 9 exist, There are almost certainly more people watching this video right now than there are Veneno Roadsters on the planet. Number 6. Pagani Huayra Codalunga. Pagani does not make cars. Pagani makes arguments. Arguments that engineering and art are the same thing, just expressed differently. The Codalunga, which means long tail in Italian, was built as a tribute to the great racing prototypes of the 1960s. Long, flowing, aerodynamically perfect in a way that modern cars with their aggressive angles rarely achieve. The twin-turbo V12 from Mercedes-AMG produces 840 horsepower. But put that aside, because the reason people lose their minds over this car is not the performance. It is the interior. Every surface inside a Pagani is hand-stitched. Every switch is machined aluminum. Every detail exists because Horacio Pagani decided it should exist, not because a cost analysis approved it. Collectors describe sitting in one as feeling like handling a rare instrument, not a vehicle. Only a handful exist, each one different, each one a one-of-one in practice, even if not in name. Number 5. Bugatti Centodieci 10. That is all Bugatti made. 10 cars for a planet of 8 billion people. The Centodieci, which means 110 in Italian, is a tribute to the EB110 that stunned the world in the 90s. But this is not nostalgia. This is Bugatti taking the design language of that era and rebuilding it with 2020's engineering and the full force of the W16 engine at 1,600 horsepower. The result is a car that looks like history and performs like the future simultaneously. Price? Approximately $9 million, and the waiting list was closed before most people knew it existed. Bugatti's clients for this car were not people who saw an advertisement and bought one. They were people who received a personal phone call from Bugatti asking if they wanted to be considered. That is an entirely different relationship with money than most of us will ever understand. Number 4. Pagani Zonda HP Barchetta. 3 exist. 3 cars. On the entire planet. In the history of everything that has ever been manufactured, only 3 of these came into existence. The HP Barchetta is the ultimate expression of the Zonda, a car that was already considered one of the greatest ever made. Pagani took it apart and rebuilt it with no compromises. Open top, carbon fiber everywhere, a naturally aspirated 7.3-liter V12 producing 789 horsepower that sounds like nothing else ever made. Driving one is not a transportation experience. It is a physical event. Estimated value, over $17 million. But money is almost irrelevant at this point. There are more people who could theoretically afford it than there are cars available. 3 exist. You have a better chance of seeing a comet with the naked eye than ever standing next to one of these in your lifetime. Number 3, Bugatti La Voiture Noire. One car, one human being on Earth owns this. La Voiture Noire, the black car, is Bugatti's tribute to the legendary Type 57 SC Atlantic. But where the original was built in the 1930s, this version carries the full quad-turbo W16, producing 1,479 horsepower inside a body so perfectly proportioned, it genuinely stops people in their tracks. The carbon fiber is black. Every surface is black. It moves like a shadow with a heartbeat. Price, approximately $18 million, making it one of the most expensive new cars ever sold at the time of purchase. One person owns this. 1. Right now, somewhere on Earth, a single human being has the keys to something that will never be replicated, never be repeated. When they are gone, the car becomes history. That is a level of ownership that does not feel real when you say it out loud. Number 2, Rolls-Royce Boat Tail. 3 were made, each one entirely different, each one a commission, not a purchase. The owners did not walk into a showroom. They approached Rolls-Royce with a vision, and Rolls-Royce spent years, literally years, turning that vision into metal, leather, and glass. The boat tail does not look like a car. It looks like what happens when a luxury yacht and a grand tour have a conversation and decide to become one object. The rear deck opens like a butterfly to reveal a fully functional hosting suite. Champagne fridge, custom silverware, fold-out tables, speakers, designed not for driving somewhere, but for arriving somewhere and making that arrival a performance in itself. Price, approximately $28 million. And here is the thing that makes that number feel even more surreal. At least 2 of the 3 owners requested that their car never be publicly photographed in certain configurations. Even at $28 million, some things remain private. Number 1. Rolls-Royce La Rose Noire Droptail, La Rose Noire, the Black Rose. 4 exist, each one commissioned. Each one hand-built over years by a team of craftspeople who treat automotive engineering the way museum restorers treat priceless paintings. Rolls-Royce named it after a rose that blooms only once in a lifetime. Let that sink in. A car named after something so rare it may never happen again. The elongated rear deck was inspired by luxury yachts. The coach lines are hand-painted. The metal finishes are hand-polished to reflect light the way a rose petal catches morning sun. Inside, exotic leathers, unique wood grains, and materials selected over months of deliberation. The V12 engine is formidable, but this car was not built for speed. It was built for presence. Price, over $30 million. 4 exist. Right now, 4 people on Earth get to call this theirs. And when you consider how many billions of people exist and have ever existed, the probability of being one of those 4 people is so small, it does not even register as a fraction. This is not a car. It is a definition of what is possible when money, time, and obsession have no limit.